Welcome to the webinar related to the integration with KSeF Polish platform for the electronic invoices. My name is Jakub Turmiński. I'm the SAP Integration consultant and the product owner of the solution I will be presenting. Together with me, I will be helped by Sergio Martinez Perez, my colleague of working with Code10 together with me, and I will present our schedule for today. I will start with the theoretical session about the KSeF, the background, the electronic document framework, and our product. That will be the theoretical part. Then there will be a demo. It will be interactive. Sergio will help me to carry out the task. We'll present what will be the scenarios, what will be cases that we'll present. And the last part of the webinar will be the Q&A session. And for those who you can't see the Q&A while you are using the browser, then you can use the chat. We will basically go through all the questions that you ask, and I hope there will be some interesting conversation. And I will start with the short introduction of the company. Code10 is a company that is focused on SAP integration and SAP implementation. We also, aside of the project implementation, we deal with the staff augmentation. We have multiple very skilled senior consultants, both dealing with the integration and development. And as another leg of the company, we do develop products. One of the signature product is Cloud Integration Accelerator. That's the product that deals with that helps to accelerate implementation, both greenfield and brownfield implementation of the SAP Cloud Integration. And the product that I will be focusing the most today is the electronic invoicing. It's a group of the products that are dedicated for different countries. We at Code10, we have a huge experience on the electronic invoicing. We've been working with the electronic invoicing since a couple of years. Aside of the KSeF implementation, that is the main topic for today. We've been working with, we have implemented, and we have a product for Spain, Italy, Portugal, Hungary, also Greece, and some countries from South America, which like Mexico. Our products are built based on the middleware platforms. It could be either on-premise, like SAP Process Orchestration, or cloud. And when it comes to the cloud, we have products built based on the Boomi or SAP Integration Suite, cloud integration capability. Why we talk about KSeF? There is a legal background for this. There were legal regulations were introduced a couple of years ago that will be valid from the 1st of July 2024. At the beginning, it was planned that the integration with KSeF platform was meant to be started from the 1st of January, but it was postponed to the 1st of July. Why countries, why regions or the countries are implementing the central electronic invoicing systems? The main reason for that is to prevent tax evasion and, of course, to collect more taxes, and this will improve the economical situation of the government. So that's the main motivation. And it's already possible to submit invoices into the KSeF platform from 1st of January 2022. And as an advantage is that the VAT refund will be done earlier, as I believe the company will not wait for 60 days, but only for 40 days in order to receive the VAT refund. So this is the benefit. Another benefit is that most probably, if companies are waiting till the last moment, there will be less and less reliable partners that can help with the implementation. Basically, it's not worth wait till the last moment. All the regulation are set up, and all the platform is up and running, and it's just a matter of time to go and implement the solution, which will become mandatory for all invoices for B2B, which is business to business. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't mention that SAP itself provides the solution. However, the SAP has changed the way how they provide the solution now. Before, SAP was providing the cloud integration prepackaged content that most of the companies who had invested in cloud platform integration could download, discover, configure, and use. Recently, they changed the approach, and now you need to register, you need to have a new global account of the SAP DRC public cloud service. So basically, it requires you to obtain the new license and to subscribe to the solution. The standard way to deal with the electronic documents is to use the electronic document framework. And electronic document framework is basically can be accessed by the transaction called a document cockpit. And this transaction is central and single access point for all the documents in the enterprise. So if, for instance, company has business and has legal entities in both, for instance, in Spain and Poland, so if the company is implementing the Polish requirements, the Polish regulation, the people which were working already with Spanish, they will know the transaction, they will know look and feel, and they will know how because the solution will basically work the same way. There will be the same entry point, and people who deal with the invoices will see the transaction in the same program. In the top picture, you can see it's basically it presents the documents that are ready to be submitted. Some of them has been submitted, and they already have received the KSeF reference number, while the other marked with the yellow icon, they are only acknowledged, and they were not yet processed, and they were not yet approved by the national system of Polish electronic invoices. On the bottom picture, you see the same transaction. It's also document cockpit. When we are seeing the documents that were sent, which were issued for us, for the company, which are the either vendor or supplier invoices. They are downloaded using the same document cockpit, and they result as documents in the program. There might be a question for whom the Code10 electronic invoicing SAP integration with KSeF Poland is dedicated. The answer is quite simple, is that for the companies that have already invested into the middleware platform, which is basically the company has already middleware platform, or they plan to invest. So if you have either like a cloud platform like SAP Integration Suite, or if you have, for instance, Boomi, then our product can be easily configured and deployed on the platform. If you consider having a if you consider investing in the middleware platform, we will recommend going either for Boomi or for Integration Suite, because the on-premise SAP PO, which stands for SAP Process Orchestration, will be sunsetted in 2027. Obviously, it doesn't mean that it cannot be used, but it will require some extra maintenance license. Our solution is leveraging what's best from the SAP DRC, which is the document cockpit. So basically, there will be no difference whether you are running the Code10 solution for KSeF integration or SAP. The document framework is responsible for generating the documents, and for the KSeF platform, we are talking about the XML documents. The format that the invoices are supposed to be delivered to the platform it's described by the schema, and the documents are validated against that schema on the platform of the national provider for the invoices. Here I want to talk a little bit about the task which each of the component has. So we can see three main components, which is the KSeF platform, which is the national system. The role of the system is basically to expose the API that we can consume from the middleware. The task that the KSeF is doing is sending the technical acknowledgement for the documents that they receive. They are validated, the documents, against the schema. So when we send the invoice from SAP to the platform, the document will be validated against the schema. After the document is validated, it will be approved or rejected. So after the validation will reveal whether the document comply or not. For those documents which comply, they will be approved, and they will be assigned a unique KSeF number. The moment of assignment of the KSeF number, it means that the document becomes the legal invoice, and since this moment is valid invoice. I will talk now about the SAP ECC and SAP S/4HANA. Those are obviously the ERP system, and those are the backend system. And on those system, it resides the document framework. By installing some OSS nodes, we enable the Polish electronic invoices. And the task of the SAP backend is to obviously generate the documents in the appropriate format. This is the task of the document framework. Also, the mapping the information from the SAP into the format, into the XML document, and providing the tool for submitting and checking status and pulling and downloading the documents. And the last element is the SAP middleware. This is the place where our product is deployed. It could be, as I mentioned, either SAP middleware, and here we can distinguish the two type of middleware. One is on-premise SAP PO or PI, and another one is SAP Integration Suite. SAP Integration Suite is the part of SAP BTP. BTP stands for Business Technology Platform, and the cloud integration is the capability of the SAP Integration Suite. This is where the product is deployed, and this is where the product is running, and the product where it will be monitored. Another middleware that we have our product is the Boomi. Boomi is another middleware that can be also used for the integration with KSeF. The role of the middleware is establish communication or connectivity between the S/4HANA, or basically backend, and KSeF platform. Make sure that the connection is secure, and to do the authentication and authorization. This is what I mean when we are authenticating, it means like we has to tell who we are on the platform, and it's called context. Like we are in the context of the company, which is based on the context is based on the VAT registration number, right? And authorization is that what we can do. For instance, some companies can submit the invoices. Another like entity in the company, another organization will be responsible for the obtaining the supplier invoices in case of the segregation of duties. Here I put some like 4 points which are like a key takeaways from about our product is that the most important is it's based on SAP standard. It's based on the a document framework. It's the same look and feel as for other countries, that other European countries demand you to implement, and it's quickly customized by just applying OSS nodes. And if the format will change of the document of the invoice, when, for instance, the Polish agency and Polish tax authority will change the format, that will be applied. The SAP will ship the node, and this node can be applied in order to fulfill the changes when they will become mandatory. The connectivity security is established by our product, and our product, since it's reside on BTP, so all the communication is secure and cannot be overheard or like sniffed. Another advantage is that it's very easily configurable because we ship the product as prepackaged content, and it can be easily configured and deployed on the middleware platform. Obviously, there are a lot of technicalities like authorization tokens, authentication tokens, submitting and obtaining the acknowledgement. All of those functions, all of those tasks are executed are done basically by the Code10 product. To tell about the benefits, I believe that the biggest benefit is that there's no need to obtain the SAP DRC license on the cloud edition, and you don't need another global account. If you already have integration suite, you can basically deploy our product and you can run it. There is no need to invest to buy the license to subscribe to any solution. We use the standard document cockpit, which is well known and is like a main and the main program for reporting and compliance in SAP. I mentioned before that the product can be easily deployed and it's easy configurable. We believe that deployment takes like less than a few days, and then the most part which the implementation takes is to test all the scenario, all the document types, all the invoices types that we want to send to the KSeF platform. All right. We have, together with Sergio, we have prepared the demo. The demo will comprise three cases, and 2 of them will be the outbound scenarios, and 1 of them will be the inbound scenario. And at the end, we will present the monitoring of the SAP Integration Suite. This is the standard monitoring feature. Obviously, it can be improved. And before we jump to the demo, I want to say that all of the tasks we execute manually, they can also be executed in the background. So they can be scheduled as a background jobs. And basically, there's no need for the personnel to run those transactions. I want to also explain the cases. So the case number 1 we will do is we will just create and submit the invoice. The invoice, it will be the customer invoice, and the invoice will be a little bit, it's not like a normal invoice because the sender and the recipient of the invoice will be the same VAT registration number. So the customer and the seller will be the same entity. Obviously, it's not the normal invoice, but the reason is that we will use that invoice in order to show that how we download the invoice, how we pull the vendor invoices into the electronic document cockpit. We'll present the electronic document cockpit. We will check the acknowledgement, and we'll present that the invoice has been created in the KSeF platform. For that, we will use test environment. There is also demo environment and of course production. We will use the test environment. It's the one that we connected to, and we will obviously do what's the most important is to obtain the KSeF reference number, and this means that the invoice has been sent and has been accepted by the national system. Second case, it will be about checking the status of the invoice that was submitted some time ago. I didn't want to get into the details much how the KSeF platform is implemented, but the session that can be used in order to either send or download the invoices lasts for 120 minutes. So if we posted the invoice more than 2 hours ago, it's not possible by default to use the document cockpit to obtain the status. There is a different transaction that we will run in order to check the status of the invoices that were created before. And this is not this is the feature of the KSeF system. And the last case, it will be about downloading the invoice. We will download the invoice that we have just created, and the implementation of downloading and pulling the invoice from the system is split into 3 steps. First one is to create the query. Then the next step is to check the query details. And the last step is to, based on the result, is to download the invoices. And then all the invoices will be visible in the electronic document cockpit. All right, Sergio, can you help me with the demo? Can you please share your screen?
Okay, can you see my screen?
Let me take a sec.
Yes, we do.
All right. Yes. Let's start with creating the customer invoice. Because Sergio has used the standard transaction in order to create the customer invoice. All right, the invoice was created, the number, it ends with 137. All right, now let's check if this invoice is visible in the electronic document cockpit. All right, it was created at 27 past 5, so it's the document. All right, we can see that the status of the document is just a document created. It has not yet been acknowledged, it has not yet been accepted. So now what we will do, we will submit the invoice into the platform, into the KSeF platform. Can you please, yeah, we use the button submit. And instantly we receive the information that the status has changed. The invoice has been acknowledged by KSeF. As I mentioned before, it doesn't mean that the document was accepted because we don't yet have the KSeF reference number. Can you, Sergio, please show that we don't yet have the KSeF reference number? Exactly, this field is empty. Before we obtain the KSeF reference number, let's check the platform, the web platform of the national system of eInvoices, whether we receive the invoice with number ending with 137. It takes some time because we have already created a couple of hundreds of documents. So let's try one more time. Yep. our invoice will be visible in both the as a sale invoice and as a buy invoice. All right, yes, so the top one is the one ending with 137, 2023 is the fiscal year. All right, obviously we can display invoice here, and we already have assigned KSeF reference number. Obviously, we check this in the platform, so we know that this document was approved, but in the electronic document cockpit, we don't know that yet. So our goal will be to obtain this number into the SAP system. So basically, we will get the status for that particular invoice. So in order to do it, we will select the electronic document, and then we will check status by clicking the status button. All right. As we can see, the document, the status has changed to accepted by KSeF, and then we should see the same number. Yeah, KSeF reference number. It was obtained. So it means that this invoice become the valid and legal document. And now, in case the invoice was created for different for the customer. The customer can log in and can find this invoice in own system. However, now we will that concludes the case number 1. Case number 2. What happened in the situation when someone has prepared the documents in the morning and then 2 hours has left and the session is not valid? This disadvantage of 2-hour session is not the disadvantage of the SAP, it's the way how the KSeF platform has been created. And basically the session is valid only for 2 hours. So in order to check the status and to obtain the KSeF reference number for the document that was created some time ago, we need to run special transaction. Right. In order to execute this transaction, we will need the session reference number. This will be the input parameter. Right. We'll provide the session reference number as an input parameter, and we will execute. All right. As we can see, the transaction, the program executed successfully. Now we can check whether the session, whether the reference number has been assigned. All right. Yes, we can see that it's accepted by KSeF, and then we got the KSeF reference number. I mentioned already, but all those processes can be automatized. They can be executed in the background. There is no need for the human interaction. Okay, this concludes case number 2. Let's go to the case number 3, when we will download the invoices which are meant for us, which the invoices that we will have to pay. And we will do this based on the example, the invoice of which we created for ourselves. So in order to do it, we will go to the transaction. Yeah. And as I mentioned, it will be executed in 3 steps. The step number 1 is to execute the query. We provide the company code, the country. We can filter, for instance, if at this moment we want to only pull the invoices for one particular VAT registration number, we can specify it. Otherwise, we will select all the documents, all the invoices that are meant for us. Please execute. All right, transaction executed successfully. Now we will go back to the document cockpit, and we will see that we have something in the incoming query, right? All right, we see that there is an electronic document created. This represents the query. Now we will check the status of this query because the KSeF platform execute all the tasks asynchronously. So this is when we check if the query has some results. Let's click the status. All right, the status has been executed successfully. Now, if we refresh, we should see another document. Now, for this document, this document represented the result. If you want to download the documents for this particular result, we select the electronic document, and we click again status. All right, it has been executed successfully. Now we can refresh one more time the document cockpit, and we will see in the incoming that we have the following documents. And here there is a functionality we can display. Yeah, we can see the KSeF reference number, and basically this will be the list of all documents that the company has to pay for, because those are supplier or vendor invoices, and we can also have some basic display of this invoice. Obviously, in the standard process ends up here, and it's then. But in order to create SAP inbound invoice, like using the mirror transaction at Code10, we have an add-on. However, it's not meant for this session, and we will prepare another session that will discuss how to create from the electronic document the mirror invoice, which is the inbound invoice in SAP. All right, that was the case number 3 when we downloaded the invoices, and the last element we want to present before we jump to the question and answer is about showing an integration suite, the cloud integration capability, that all the task has been executed online. So we have special tail that is used for the monitoring. So this can make it easy for the personnel of the application maintenance personnel to monitor the solution. The completed, it means that the entire integration, entire flow has been done successfully, and those were the execution of the query, of the submission, and the obtaining, the downloading the invoices. All right, so this is the end as for the demo, and now let's come to the question and answer. I will check if we have any question and answers. Let me check. And I will check also the chat. All right. I see nothing in Q&A. Let's jump to the chat. All right. Right, first question, it was not clear. Could you please confirm if the Code10 solution is also working with SAP PIPO? It's correct. Maybe I didn't mention didn't explain myself clearly, but the Code10 solution can be deployed on the PIPO. Even when company has already PIPO, it's we have a solution for that. However, if you don't have any middleware platform, we suggest to invest in the SAP Integration Suite, as the PIPO will be sunsetted in 2027. I will mark this question as answered. All right. We'll go for another one. Is it possible to do the vendor invoice integration with VIM? Yes, it is possible. All right, we can provide them more details for that. Amit asked the question, how much is the license? The license is discussed separately with each customer, and we have a different way of the licensing. It's either based on the subscription or based on the like you buy like a product. Hey, Yolanta, can you please cover if scenario of exchange, if KSeF will be offline not available? In that situation, we will have electronic documents. Like when we create the electronic invoices, they will stay in the electronic document cockpit. If we cannot send them, then it's always possible to resend them when the time is up. Basically, when it was problem with when the session was created and we didn't manage to get the status, then we can use the exactly like I executed the case number 2, like Sergio executed case number 2. It will be the way how we can submit and also get the status for the document. So basically, as this is all executed asynchronously, then there is no problem. So the document can be resent at any time. Is the solution also is the solution also provided document archiving? The documents are both archived. First of all, the KSeF platform archived the documents. So, and that's for sure. And also the documents will be existing in as electronic documents in the eDoc framework. So the documents will exist as long as SAP is up and running. All right. There are some questions. I think. I see no more questions, and nevertheless, Maciej is asking, when running fully automated, what is the approximate throughput in, say, invoices per minute? Where do you expect bottleneck could show up? Sergio, can you help me with that one? How do we think about throughput?
Yeah, I think the KSeF platform has not yet released one statement about the limits of the API. Oh. But my guess is the production API will have no real limit on the usage. So unless you send 1 million in 1 minute, I don't think you will have a problem with that.
No. We can, Maciej, we can get also do some internal checks, but we believe that there will be no limit, at least not the one we can see for the throughput. Of course, it could be interesting for the because the invoice become the legal document the moment it obtained the KSeF reference number, and if it could be important for the companies to make sure that, for instance, at the end of the month, they send all, let's say, batch of like 1 million invoices. And it's important for them to make sure that they are in this particular month. So the KSeF reference number has been assigned in this particular month. So I think I'm not sure if anyone yet tested that, but I think it would be better to, if there is like lots of invoices, it would be better to execute them maybe starting to like 2 days before the end of the month. But we will definitely get back because yeah. Did I miss any question? If not, all right. So thank you for attending the webinar. I will send some summary and presentation after. The webinar will be available in our webpage and also on the YouTube. And if you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact me. You will have my email address in the PowerPoint I will send. Thank you so much and have a good day.